All right, once again, we are live for the fourth installment of Sense8 Symposium with Evan Morgan. Today I'm joined by two guests, Claudia twiddling with her villain mustache, or not so much anymore, and Simon as well. And so first of all, thank you guys for joining me.
Thank you for inviting us.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're kind of on a slim panel this week, but we're gonna make it work. We're gonna pull together as senseis would do and rock it out. All right. So actually, we have quite a bit to talk about this week. Most of that being the Nairobi cast, the majority of them joining our collective Facebook group. We had Jella's wife, and of course the infamous Mr. Fuckoff. So, what were you guys' first impressions of that when that happened?
Well, I was actually absolutely blown away at first when I saw that they were actually part of the group, and then of course there was the interview you did with Paul. So it's actually amazing that they have joined us in the group, and it's kind of it shows that this connection of the show is actually working, even between the cast and us fans as senseis.
Yeah, that's well said. What about you, Claudia?
No. I kind of knew some people, like from family or people related to some of the actors on the show were on our group already. But and then I saw Paul, I think 2 weeks ago, and it was really, I mean, it's really exciting us as fans to have people from the actors, like not the main ones, but at least the people that are close to the main ones, to see how we are as a fandom, as the fan bandam fandom.
As a fandom.
The fandom. I'm sorry, I got it confused all the time.
That's okay. It's
Yeah.
a little bit of a tongue twister depending on where you approach it. So. But yeah, I mean, definitely that's been really big. Like, just to have them acknowledge us at all is already kind of like a big thing for us, and let alone join and contribute into the discussions. And one thing that I love the most when I was talking to Paul, or through when I was working through to do my interview, it's like one thing, first of all, that when I talked to Amel, he told me about the eyes of the people in Nairobi and how they actually see you, and when you interact with them, they interact with you in like a meaningful way, and that's exactly the kind of vibe I've been getting since we've had them there. You know, they're just generally very humble and grateful to be included, just as we are grateful to include them. So that's just been amazing, like beyond anything that I could have expected.
Yeah. I think this is such a big production, like they're filming in so many different countries, that I think the same actors, like not the main ones, but the other ones that are like the psychics, they're fans of the other part of the other stories. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
they really don't know what's going on until the show is complete. So I've talked to Maximilian Ewald, who is Amanita's mom. She follows us on Sense8 International Fan, and she's so grateful to even be part of the fandom. And then I have talked to Max Moff, which is Felix Wolfgang brother by choice, and they're like, as we are, as we are connected to this among each other, they are as well. You know, it's just what of a good show we are following here. You know.
That's a great thing to see too, as far as, you know, to see the cast and us, the fans and the cast, we're all kind of embracing all the ideas and the principles, and it's not just a script, or it's not just a story. It's people living what they're practicing, you know, and that for me has been the biggest shock, because, you know, for a lot of it you get a lot of TV And you can tell, like any other shows you're watching, you're just watching for entertainment. You can turn your brain off, and you don't have to worry about it. But this show, it's like it's really asking people to engage with each other and with ideas and stuff, and that just to see that come through and come together, it's just been there's really no words for it, you know.
Yeah, I wanted to. I'm gonna read a tweet that I received today that from one of the fans and Sense8 International fan, and it's really,
Sure.
I think that's the key for us to be connected the way we are through this show. Claire, she sent me a tweet today, and it said, "Why is it that we can go watch this show and feel a connection, a bond with those who are moved by this show, and others don't?" Okay,
Hmm.
that's what
Hmm.
she asked me, and I think it's because uh if you're a fan of Sensei, you have the same kind of empathy and the same kind of uh like we've been talking in the past that we're in the same cluster is because we have so many things in common, and whoever is fan of this show, um we are the same, like we have the same point of view in life. It doesn't matter where you at, or where you're coming from, but if you empathize with Sensei, it's because we are in the same cluster, and that's what I told this fan, that we're the same cluster, and if someone doesn't understand us, they're just, it's their loss, not ours.
Yeah.
So
They're secretly working for BPO, even if they may not know it yet. You know?
That's beautifully put, Claudia. So yeah,
yes.
it's you're completely right on that one.
Yeah, and that's the feeling that I have ever since I've been in the fandom. I felt like I was alone at the beginning because for 2 weeks I was on the IMDb boards, and I didn't discover the big group. It was only 3,000 when I came aboard, but on the IMDb boards I had to be like fighting like with constantly with people, because at the beginning there was just haters, like, oh, the show
Yeah.
is this, the show is that, blah blah blah. So I gave up, and I said, you know what, I'm just gonna go and enjoy the show, and I'm gonna go to the and do what I like, and that's like, being a fandom, and talk about the show in a positive way. So I stopped doing that, and I come from time to time, and I see there's more people liking the show, like there's more people coming, so the boards have a little bit decreased boards, so it's good because more people are actually enjoying the show, and knowing about the show too.
Definitely, definitely. How
Mhm.
about you, Simon? Would you like to add anything?
I think Claudia has put it exactly as I feel it. I I was part of the group since really its very early stages. I think I joined when there were like just over 1,000 people in it, and I have been with the group since then, and I absolutely fell in love the first moment I joined. I saw how people were starting to get connected, and I thought, there is something special about this. There is something I have never seen before, and I was right, as we are proving just by being here now. So yeah.
Definitely, and it's nice to be right every once in a while, especially with something like this. Because I mean, I've run the gamut of like so many Facebook groups and so many. I don't know. I myself have never really been one to attach myself in a fandom sense to any other kind of a thing. So this for me was like a first time experience, and then I actually, as far as that goes, I couldn't have asked for anything better with the way that everything's turned out. It's just been an amazing ride, and the best part is it's just begun. So I can only imagine where we're going to go from here.
Yeah, well, I have been in quite a few fandoms so far, but this experience has been completely different than all of the previous ones. So that actually that I had that feeling from exactly from the beginning. So Yeah, it's completely different than other fandoms. If you haven't been in many, so I have to say it really is different from the others as well.
Yes,
So yeah.
that's true.
All right. And actually, on that note, I think we've covered enough initially. Let's go ahead and delve into episode 3. Smart money is on the skinny bitch. All right. So one of the first things that I noticed was what is that? Oh, right when Will gets out of bed, you know, the nurse is like, "Oh no, sir, you were just involved in a car crash with a terrorist. You can't be going anywhere." And you know, he just bolts out of the hospital, and then she's like, "Doctor, doctor." And then the immediate cut scene is like Leto in his doctor uniform acting as a doctor, you know. So it's just like those little subtle connections that you might not pick up. I mean, might have taken me the first or second viewing before I was like, oh, there's something going on here, a parallel. And so just small details like that I'm still noticing are just like mind blowing.
Oh yeah, I actually never thought of this connection. That's something new for me that I never realized that it was the doctor connection right there. But I have to say these little connections are something that makes the show even more special. You know, there are these little hints and nudges towards different parts of the show, and I absolutely love that.
Yes, that's true. I didn't notice it either, but I remember JMS on his tweets have said that watch it the first time, watch it the second time, watch it the third time, and you're still gonna catch on things. You know, like
Yeah.
this is a show that you cannot just watch it one time. It's just so many things. One of the things that I remember, going ahead a little bit, because that's the only thing that I remember going back and see it, is when Wolfgang and Lido, they were interacting, and you see Wolfgang smoking and then throwing the cigarette like that, and
Uh-huh.
then and the next scene you see Lido doing the same thing. It's like they
Yeah.
they take the personality of the other person into them, or is it just, or I don't know if it's just one person. It's, since they are just one person, they have that, like, they do the same things. Like they reenact the same things. So it's
And
just
even to build on that, even later on, I think there was a scene where Sun is like smoking in her office up by herself, and then it cuts to Leto in the restaurant smoking too. So like little things like that, and it's like, wow, they're really paying attention to all of this, you know.
But it's
And
because they're one person, they're
yeah,
one self. So
exactly.
that's the tricky part. Like,
I think that's one of the things that a lot of people are still trying to wrap their heads around, the whole one entity comprised of multiple parts kind of thing. But it makes perfect sense when you look at it from that perspective.
exactly.
And okay, we have to talk about this for sure because it's one of the things that have been irking me since I've seen it. But this is the episode where Riley dumps the cash and the stash in the trash, or with and in the blind guy's thing. I'm just like, come on now, you
Why
know, like
why we
what?
just? I guess she didn't want to she didn't want to be part of it, or
But
she thought.
Well,
or unless
I
she's not. Okay, go ahead, Simon.
I actually think that what she told Nix when he came after her later is true to the point that she was scared and she didn't know what to do with it. She
Uh,
didn't want to have it on her and she didn't want to be associated with it, so she just threw it away. She threw away the drugs and she gave the money to someone instead of just throwing them out. And I actually think that the moment earlier when she stopped on the bridge, that might have been like I think her considering doing that, just dumping the things over the bridge, just she just used the money better later on.
I definitely understand that, but I mean, the only thing I'm thinking is like, before she went out into the streets, that she was already dodging like a goon that was looking in her apartment, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know. Just for me, I was like, well, you gotta figure that this guy at some point is gonna come back for this. Like, even if she didn't spend it or use the drugs or whatever, I was like, man, you should maybe you should hang on to that in case someone comes looking, you know. But I guess
Yeah.
maybe the shock of it was still kind of registering, and that was the first instinct that she had to do. So maybe that's just how it worked out.
That's exactly how I see it, because I think she was still in shock. She was just after this experience. She didn't really know what to do. Nobody would really know what to do in a situation like this when it just comes up and you have no idea how to behave yourself in this situation. So the shock, the stress, and all of that just makes you really incapable of thinking about it.
Mm-hmm. That
Okay.
makes sense.
Evan.
Yes.
Jace is trying to join in, and is there a way you can send him
Let's see.
a link?
I think so. Here, I can go to invite. You can talk amongst yourselves while I.
Okay.
Uh,
While you do that. Okay, Simon,
Yes.
because you did the school thing, so you can lead me for the for the episode 3, and I'll go on with you. You do the homework.
okay, I just sent him the invite, so he should be joining us shortly.
Okay.
Okay, so that's good.
All right. So where were we? Oh, and then the next thing that stood out was, of course, when Lito and Daniela were out, and he's like, "What does your father do?" "Oh, import export." "What does he import export?" Stuff people want, I guess. I'm like, "Oh, that's not a red flag at all, man."
Oh, that's definitely not illegal at all.
No, that's perfectly above the line, you know. But as soon as she said that, I was like, okay, he's like a cartel boss, and Joaquin is like his right hand man, you know.
Yeah,
Uh,
definitely.
and we didn't even meet Joaquin at that time yet, I don't think. But yeah,
No, we met him a little later, I think, in the next episode when he took Lito out to lunch.
Yeah, the next scene or other. Yeah. So what do you guys think about that? Like speculation of her father being El Jefe of a cartel, and how do you think that will play into Lito's storyline?
That might actually just show up perhaps in season 2, like one of the subplots that the Wachowskis use a lot of. So maybe the connection to her parents and to this probably underworld connection might somehow come to bite Leto and Daniela and Hernando as well, of course. They might have to solve some problem, perhaps with. I initially thought that it might be like Joaquin going to her father with the problem he's having with them, so that might be it.
And
Yeah,
then go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. Okay, they say to JMS say too that they set up like little subplots for second season on season 1, and that's one of the main ones because Lito and Hernando and Daniela will have to go on, they have to do some more stuff in Mexico because they're the only one that Lito hasn't told Daniela or Hernando about the sensei part. So they have to do some more stuff about that storyline. And I think they're gonna go that way too, the cartels, because that's a big thing going on over there in Mexico. And then I think that's gonna be the plot to go because Lito will need the extra skills from the others in order to he's actually gonna need it.
Yeah, I mean,
So yeah.
he can't take on the cartel as Tino El Caído and hope to
No, he
come out
can't.
ahead. You know what I mean? And actually, while we have a little bit of a break, let's say hi to JC.
Hi.
Thanks
Hello,
for
JC.
Thanks for
Hi.
joining us today.
Thank you for having me. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah, we can.
we're talking
Cool.
about episode 3. So, any thoughts you might have regarding that
Um,
episode?
I know for whatever reason, well, I think that seems to be the episode that people who are skeptical about this show at first, that's kind of when they all jump on board. Is episode 3. I think it's probably because the insane, the big fight with Cepheus and Sun. So that's kind of the episode where everybody's like, oh yeah, this is cool, I'm on board with this.
Yeah, it's one of those just get these people past episode 3 and then they'll go the whole way.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
oh, go ahead, Claudia.
No, yeah, it's like episode 1 and 2 up to that point was kind of slow, like, everything was just here and there, and then we didn't know exactly, what was going on, but we were interested, we liked it, and it was interested enough for us to keep us going. But then when the fight happened at the end is when you were like, oh my god, this is what I want. This is what I want to keep on watching. Like, oh, me personally, that's the point that I said, okay, this is what I want. This is what I want. This is the show that I've been waiting for. That's when I said it, and then everything else just escalated.
Yeah,
To the
because I
best.
mean, it really was the first like legitimate connection that we see, between Will at the shooting range, and then he's doing a little bit of that, and they finish off with Sun against the superpower. I mean, I was at that point, I was still not sure exactly how they were gonna bridge it. Like I knew, oh, okay, Sun can fight, that's gonna come in handy somewhere, and all this kind of stuff. But to actually see that come through and to like be executed the way it was, it was just like, it's just mind blowing, honestly. Like there's nothing I've seen before, and probably nothing I'll ever see again that had that impact of that first connection.
Right.
Just the fight, the fight sequence that they do
Yeah.
was just amazing. The way Sun was in Seoul fighting the kickboxing
Yeah,
fight,
yeah.
and then the way how they did to do the sequences so well
The
for us who
coordinated
were,
sequences, yeah.
yes,
It's like,
that the coordination, like, there's where you see, okay, this is a Wachowski production, because of the sequence of the action. That's one of the of the things that got me on awe with them.
definitely. And okay, and I gotta ask about this. What was your reaction to when Sun was gonna go see her father, and that secretary's like, "Well, he's not here. Would you like to leave another message?" And then she's like, "No, I'll just punch your desk."
I was quite surprised about that, actually. It was a bit unexpected. I thought she was just going to angrily walk away, and then she suddenly turns around and bashes the table. And the look on the secretary's face was just absolutely priceless.
Priceless, yeah.
The look of, just confusion and surprise at the same time was absolutely brilliant. I loved it.
And just like whatever snobby she had just wiped off. Oh, go ahead, JC.
I like that it's really the first time we see an outward manifestation of that rage that Sun has. Up until that point, we kind of see like there's more going on in her head, but she's being the good daughter. She's being the good. Yeah, exactly. That's kind of the first time we see her let her anger out and lose that control. So it's kind of like, whoa, don't mess with Sun.
Yeah. You'll be going to IKEA for some new furniture if you do.
Yes, it's the contrast, like how the actress Duna Bay is so quiet and calmly, and then when she becomes Sun, like it's totally opposed, like to the way. I mean, she looks really, really like a nice and shy person, the actress. But then Sun is like all this, this rage and so skilled and everything. It's so
like
totally different.
the She-Hulk comes out if she gets angry enough, And then this is also the first time we see the in Mumbai where they're having that work meeting about the parallel for the counterfeit drugs, which I
Uh-huh.
thought was another nice connection as well. Because as that's happening is when Capheus is trying to go get the medicine for his mother. So I was like, yeah, that is very well placed.
That's another clue for me that I've been saying all along since that Rajan company might not be as good as it is. Like
Mm,
they might be related to all the things going on about the drugs with the other sensates. So we might have something coming in for in that sense on season two too as well about the drugs, the drug use on the pharmaceutical company of Rajan.
yeah.
What would be possible is that, if you remember, there was a mention, Abraham mentioned it when he was buying the diamonds from Felix and Wolfgang, that they were black market diamonds from Mumbai. So I think there
Hmm.
is a bit of a possibility that Rajan or his father or his company could somehow be involved in such black market activities to bridge it all together if Rajan or his family are in any way involved in these uh, illegal things. But
Hmm.
he
And
he
that,
still might not be. He might actually turn out to be the great guy he looks like he is, but I think he's too good to be true, honestly.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I really want to see him stay a good guy, but I mean, I don't see how you can be with his kind of father and the connections that his father has and not be like tempted or corrupted to some extent to do whatever it is they do, which we don't technically know yet. But it kind of ties into, makes me wonder what exactly Danny's father is importing and exporting. Could it be the diamonds? Could it be the drugs? I don't know. It could be a bunch of things. So it definitely leaves it open in that regard.
That's right. Let me put some mustache, okay? Because I'm with the guys.
I heard something wrong. Oh, there you go. Yeah. Hey, okay. Hold on. Let's see.
Cause
There's Claudia's villain mustache. I see you, Milan, with
I,
your villain mustache.
yeah, that's me. That's me.
I
That's
see you.
me.
You gotta do
um,
like you gotta do the mustache twirl. Where did it go?
oh, this one. This one.
Yeah, you gotta do the little twirl. Yeah, there you go.
Oh dear.
Yeah, see, we don't take ourselves too seriously here, which is good. What did you guys think of Shugs and his infamous outspoken Australian?
Oh, do you mean the one with probably with Asperger's?
Yeah, Asperger's. I'm not
I don't have
Asperger's.
Asperger's. I'm fucking Australian.
Oh,
Oh my god, I love Aussies, and he is just probably the absolute stereotype of an Australian I have ever seen.
Yeah.
She has no filter, and I think that's really cute about the character. Even though she appeared just for a second, she was kind of a comic relief in a part which had pretty little of it.
Yeah, it's kind of a cringe comedy, but it worked, I think.
Yeah.
I I've heard that, I don't know, that her accent wasn't too Australian. That's what I've read. Many people complain about her because I don't think she's like the actress is a real Australian, but that's what they were saying, that her accent wasn't Australian enough. I don't know.
But as much as that is that goes, I mean, Shug said probably one of my top 10 favorite quotes in the whole thing, where he goes, "Riley, anyone watching what's really going on with the world, how fucked up it all is, checking it out temporarily, permanently, my darling, it is the only choice that makes any sense." For me, that was a really powerful quote. I mean, like no words for it. I wasn't expecting him to say it too, because he seemed kind of like a wannabe Johnny Depp and slightly dim-witted. But like when he came out with that, I was like, wow, okay, he might have some substance, this one.
Mhm.
Well, the thing is, it's one of the things that people can relate to in this show. That a large part of the appeal of Sense8 is that everyone, every fan, every Sensi has something to relate to, and I bet there are a lot of people who can relate to what Riley is going through with, coping with pain through the drugs and things like that. And just Shugs puts it into this beautiful quote that perfectly sums up the state I think Riley was in at the time, and probably a lot of people as well around the world. So that's something a lot of us can relate to and feel connected to, I would say.
Yeah.
Well said. Would you like to add anything, JC?
Well, I think him saying that is like him expressing some of the maybe desperation or depression that he's felt in his own life, which I think is what we relate to. But also, I think it kind of gives us a window into the fact that maybe he's not, because of that desperation, that depression that he's feeling, maybe he's not thinking clearly, or maybe he's putting himself in a position where he would make not the best choices, which I think is kind of a window into what happens between him and Riley later on. Just kind of the position that he's put himself in, just to sell his friend out. So it is very like profound quote, and I think maybe at heart he's a good guy, but obviously doesn't turn out that way.
Yeah. And actually, the interesting thing too is when we flash back to Leto during his filming, after he shoots the scene, he's like, "No, I know they're gonna betray me, and I think my character knows it." You know, and that definitely specifically ties into Riley getting betrayed by Shugs.
Exactly.
You know? So when I was watching that, like obviously the first two times I missed it, and then that third or fourth time it clicked, and I was like, wait a minute, this is really happening. You know, just the sense that they can have like that kind of an intuition to predict what's going to happen. It's just like amazing.
Yes. What in that we already know that Leto is oh yeah, that was on an episode 2. I'm like a little bit slow today.
That's okay. It's a live show.
Okay, now I was thinking about what is somebody asked me, like, you know how the movie that Lito was doing was it's called El Caído, which means fallen angel. So we were saying that if that means something, do you think that means something or is related? You know how the Wachowskis are, that like
they don't do anything by accident.
Right.
Yes. So I was wondering if do you think you know the movie means something that relates to Leto? You know what?
if I had to speculate, I would say, as we're introduced to Leto, he's just like his name translation. He brings light, he brings comedy, and he brings such like a passion to his work. But my only like reservation in season 2 is if he gets deeper and deeper in with Joaquin and into this whole cartel business, like he might end up losing some of that as a means to survive. Because who knows how bad that can get if you piss off the wrong people. You know what I mean? So maybe in that sense he could fall to some extent. Hopefully not fall to his death, because that would be a major bummer. He's my favorite character. He can't die. So. But
I think also we referring to like how he has this following and like he's known in Mexico as this actor and kind of this big macho guy, but he's fighting to keep up that appearance when really he doesn't feel like that because he's trying to hide that part from him. So I think maybe it could be referring to he doesn't want to appear to be that fallen hero for his people, his fans.
Yes, it's that too. Yeah, Leto is one of my. I mean, I don't want to say one of my favorite characters because I like them all 8. But I think he's the one that gives me all kind of feelings because he makes me cry, he makes me laugh. Sometimes I want to strangle him because he's so bad to Hernando. Because he's sometimes he's so egocentric and he makes me. I mean, like, I don't know if it's the actor or they gave him like the best part, the best writing to him, but it's just he's amazing to see that character,
But then in that very same breath, he'll say something like, "Why do you need my arm when you already have my heart?" And you're just like, "Oh,
that's what I'm saying."
You brought it back, Leto. You brought it back.
And then Hernando comes back with, what movie was that from again?
I forgot.
Yeah, that's one of them. That's one of his things, his skills, huh?
No, but this quote is one of those that I think we all have to use in the future in our real lives sometime.
Yeah.
Why be jealous of the atom when you already have my heart?
Yeah. I mean, if there was like a romance guide or a pickup book written by Lito Rodriguez, man, it would fly off the shelf.
But the best one, oh my God, Hernando, I can't find my flip flop. I mean, how can you call someone like trying to get him back because you can fix the. I mean, you can. What was the other one that he couldn't fix?
You can't fix the sink or the
the bathtub. And only Lito. I mean, only Lito. He's something else.
But I think that also kind of shows just how out of options he is. He can't use the bath as an excuse. He can't use whatever else. He's like, no, okay, all I got left is a flip-flop. Let me see if that works.
Yeah, it's like he needs a script for real life because he runs out of ideas so fast. Like, like he's completely different when he's in real life. Like, or like that time that it was so funny when Daniela and him and the other one went out for to eat and for a diner, and then he didn't know what to do, what to say because he was so scared for people to see, people to see him with Hernando. It's just funny.
He's my bodyguard. He just broke a photographer's arm.
I feel so Whitney Houston right now. We can use so many of his lines in real life. I'm telling you, I'm starting to use it.
Yeah. And actually, go ahead.
No, it's like yesterday. Like if we see something on our real life and then we relate it to the show, like someone saw took a picture of a flip flop that she found on the streets, and then she put it on the big group, and it's just so funny because we all relate to that. And like if it was like on another kind of with another kind of people that you will put something like that, people will be, oh, why people, why are you doing something like that? But
Yeah.
because we relate to each other so much that we
We're in
find that,
on it.
yeah, we find that kind of thing. I went to watch a movie last week too, and Henry Cavill and this movie I have forgot because it was so bad. But I know. I mean, he's very. These people they're cute, but oh my God, it's just when it's so bad, I just can't help it. But I saw
straight
Wolfgang.
straight out of Compton, or
Yeah, I saw Wolfgang uncle in there, and yeah, that was, yeah, Wolfgang uncle. He was playing an uncle and a bad uncle in that
Is
in
it
the movie.
a movie called American Uncle?
Mhm.
Yeah, The Man from Uncle, Wolfgang's uncle. That's
I guess you might not. You try not to cry, Uncle. I guess.
funny.
But all right, let's talk about. Oh, actually, one of my other favorite scenes was the whole meeting of Lito and Joaquin on the movie set. Like as soon as that scene started, not even before they got into the restaurant, you could just feel that tension in the air because it's like, this is the Joaquin and this is the guy, you know.
Yeah, that Lito's face in that moment was like when the director introduced him. He said, "This is Mr. Flores," and Joaquin goes, "Please call me Joaquin." And Lito the camera just focuses on Lito, and Lito's expression is like, "Oh God."
Yeah, what have I gotten into now? Yeah. And then, oh my God, that whole taking out to lunch scene is like. Wait, hold on.
Yes, the scene where Joaquin shows Lito how to cut a man's throat. That was actually that was really scary for me for a little moment. But then you just start to see how messed up Joaquin actually is, and that he might be a threat in the future.
Yeah, he's like, no, are you something of an explorer? He's like, no, it's more like a hobby.
Joaquin is a crazy. He also on Twitter, Evan. So you can reach him too. The actor. Now that I remember, he's also on
okay.
Twitter.
I'll definitely shoot him a tweet then, because I tweeted Max Moff about a day or so ago, and hopefully he'll get back to me as well. And actually, I didn't realize that Maximilian was following me already, so I should probably send her a message too as well.
Yeah, sure.
But as far as that scene too, it's like I loved how on the surface they were just eating lunch, but there were so many underlying things going on in the conversation that it was so much more than just going out and having a steak, you know? Like the way that the dialogue and everything, and the way that they insinuated a lot of it was just like, I thought it was one of the best scenes early on that I saw.
Yeah, there was a lot of macho, like a macho man tension going on there. for the woman.
And then of course the famous, you go right for the jugular.
Yeah. And then just how Joaquin followed it by talking about one of Lito's previous movies, how he cut his father's throat, and how he was just obsessed with the scene, and how he just how his eyes lit up when he was talking about the blood spurting from the throat, and that was just like, yeah, Hawking is really messed up there.
Yeah, this is not the kind of guy you'd want as your buddy, you know.
Because just remember later on why he's going to look for Daniela and him, because he wanted to be part of it. He's just messed up. The guy is like, ooh.
Oh yeah. Yeah. But then
like he's not up there.
But then he'll tell you, I'm not the bad guy. I'm the sad guy.
Yeah, they did such a great job. Everybody there, it's amazing. The casting manager or whatever did a good.
Oh yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Did a good job picking. Yeah.
Well,
you know how you watch.
Oh, really?
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Claudia.
No, JC.
I was just gonna say, I think it's a really good example of like how amazing the writing on the show is, because there's so much subtlety in that scene, and it's just these two guys sitting down having lunch, but there's so much like intimidation going on between them. So I think, as well as it being good acting, I think it's a really good example of how amazing the writing on the show is.
And my favorite line from that scene, when he's about to leave, he's like, no, you don't have to pay. It's covered. He's like, no, sooner or later, everybody pays. And I was just like, boom, you know?
Yes.
Throwing it down right there.
Yeah. There's not a boring moment in this series, to be honest with you.
No,
like when you watch other things, you know, like, oh, bad casting, oh, bad writing. So even though you're like very emotional about certain shows that you want to keep on watching them, but there's something that just turns you off. But with Sense8, for me, as I was watching, I was, you know, so into everything at the same time, because writing, acting, scenography, everything was so good, you know.
Yeah, it's one of those rare productions where everything is firing on all cylinders, and like everything is at the top of its game from the top to the bottom, you know, from the casting choices to the writers to the directors to the way they edited it. I mean, you guys all watched the behind the scenes 25-minute video, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and I love the fact that they hardly used any CGI at all. It was a majority of it was all like camera tricks, you know, and I just love that.
Yeah.
And those when I first saw that, I was absolutely just I was almost on the floor laughing, really, when I saw that scene where they were doing the scene with Wolfgang and Steiner when he was holding a gun to his head, and you just see from behind the scenes how Wolfgang just Max rolls away, and Miguel just slides under there.
Yeah.
It's absolutely brilliantly done, and as Brian said in the documentary, it's they read the script and they thought of 10-15 ways of how that scene could be done, and it was absolutely none of them. It was the originality of the Wachowskis.
Yeah. Yeah, people will think that they use so much, you know, special effects, and like, and then at the end it was nothing. It was just like the style they use, you know, like Simon says, so brilliantly use their resources and the people, and even the actors, how they were willing, like, they will just knock in their back, you gotta move, or you gotta, you know, you're gonna slide in, or it's just and the actors are willing to do that, you know, because that's a physical, you know, that's something else, you know, nothing like natural to do for an actor, I guess. You know, they're more used to the green screens than to do that kind of things, I guess. That is amazing.
Definitely, definitely. And I think that just about wraps it up. If you guys got any other final thoughts, or if JC, if you want to say anything else, because I know you joined in late.
No, I don't have anything to add.
All right. Anybody else?
No, that will be fine, and we could see each other on the next ensemble of this
All right.
symposium. Okay.
Well, thank you guys for joining me once again, and we'll be back next week, same time. And for anyone that has missed this broadcast and would like to tune in later on, it will be updated on the YouTube channel shortly. And once again, thank you for tuning in, and remember, you are no longer just you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so